Welcome to today's online message from Long Eaton Oasis Christian Centre. We are a church at the heart of the community with a heart for the community. And we're so glad that you've joined us. We hope that you'll be inspired and encouraged today. Please don't hesitate to contact us. If you want to find out more, you can visit our website www.longeatonoasis.co.uk or you can direct message us.
Well, good morning everybody and happy Sunday to you. If you are indeed a father this morning, happy Father's Day. I hope you are having a lovely day and I hope you've been spoiled. I hope you've been treated to some presents, to some goodies, and I hope that you are having a wonderful time wherever you are. My name is Jordan, for those of you that don't know me, and I have a little bit of backstory about me. Grown up in church. I don't think it'll be less than a handful of times, I would say, that a Sunday has gone past where I have not been in a church outside of lockdown, illness, or holiday. It's just the way that I was brought up by my parents. Sunday was church day, regardless of activities, hobbies, extracurricular, stuff that you do, what your friends are up to. You go to church on a Sunday. And therefore, I've heard a lot of Father's Day messages, and quite often they will be themed and titled around the father's heart, things like being a child of God. You hear the story of the prodigal son and things like that. And today I want to do exactly that. I want to talk to you today about having a father's heart, but with a little twist, having a father's heart for yourself. Now what I mean by that is you doing the best for you, because whether you're a dad today or a parent today or not, I want to speak to you. I don't just want to speak to fathers. I want to speak to everybody. And there is somebody in our life, regardless of if we have kids, regardless if we're married or not, that we are to look after, to protect, to develop, to teach, and that is ourselves. That is ourselves. Now, as mentioned, I've seen many years, all my life, in church, and I am quite an observant person, I would say. I notice things, and when we're watching films, things like if a person's watch was on their right arm and then next scene it's on their left, I'll notice that and I'll say to my wife, rewind it, that's changed. Or if someone was wearing blue shoes with white laces, in the next scene they've got blue shoes with black laces, I'll notice, and it really does my wife's head in, but it's just something that I can do, and it's something that I pick up on, and I pick up on things. And over my time in church, you see a lot of people come, you see a lot of people go, and for whatever reason, people leave church to go to a different one. They move house, they do whatever. One of the reasons is they just stop coming to church, they stop walking with God for whatever reason that is. And if you were to see those people again come back to church, quite often, not every time, but quite often, a reason for that is because they've had children. And they say things like, we wanted our children to grow up with Christian values, or grow up with Christians around them, or grow up with church. And that's a great thing. And if that is you this morning, if you've done that, please don't think I am knocking you. It's just an observation that I've made. And one thing that I have questioned over the years is, if a person knows that is what's best for their children, why don't they do it for themselves? And now I'm a father, I kind of understand it. Is because you would put your child above yourself every time. You want the best for your kids more than you ever wanted for yourself. If your child is ill, they're poorly, there is nothing that you wouldn't do if given the choice to take that illness from them and put it on yourself. You just want the best for your kids. Now, I think if we take a bit of that enthusiasm of care for our children and put it upon ourselves, we would see some growth in our lives. We'd see some development in our lives. And there is a verse that I've picked up from Proverbs. It's Proverbs 22, verse 6. I've got it over there. I'll just read it. It says, "Train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it." Now, I don't want to rewrite the Bible, but I'm going to rewrite the Bible just 1 second. If we take the word child and we turn it to ourself, or yourself, it says, "Train up yourself in a way that you should go, and when you are old, you will not depart from it." Now, if you want to develop yourself in a certain way with God, putting things in place today will set you in good stead for the future. Now, you might not consider yourself to be young, but we all have a future. And if we impart things and we teach ourselves things and we develop ourselves with things now, in the future, we will not depart from it. One thing that I think is key is when you get on a plane and you have all the safety announcements, you have an announcement that says, should we lose pressure in the cabin, oxygen masks will fall. And of course, everyone freaks out. They're like, oh gosh. And please sort yourself out before you help any children. Now, that is because if you were to pass out, who's going to help your child? There's no one. So the safest thing for your child and the best thing for your child is for you to be sorted out. It's for you to have your mask on in this analogy. But in life, if you want your children to grow up in a certain way and do certain things and walk with God in a solid way, the best thing and one of the key ways that they can do that is for you to be solid and walking with God yourself. Now, as mentioned, I don't want to speak to just parents today. That applies to you whether you're single, whether you've got kids, whether you're whatever. If you want the best for your life in the future, the best thing to do today is to impart teaching, is to develop yourself, get your head in the Bible, get around people that are going to sharpen you and sharpen you in a good way. You know, we know that people influence heavily, so get yourself with good people. Now, there are 3 quick things that I want to talk to you about that I've learned as a parent. The first thing, when when your wife or your partner or whoever gives birth and you get past this child for the first time, your instinct is absolute love. But the first thing that you do as a parent is to protect. Your job for the first week or months or so or whatever of being a parent is just to protect your child. It's to keep them alive, really. It's to keep them alive. Don't drop them. Make sure you feed them. When people come around and hold them, tell them that you've got to hold the head, all that kind of stuff. Your first job is to protect. The second job then, as they get a little bit older and they develop, is to teach them. Is to, teach them how to eat and show them how to do certain things. Now, part of that is protecting them. You teach them that if they go near something hot, they're going to get hurt. So you're protecting them by teaching them. And then the third thing is discipline. They've learnt now what is right and wrong, and you have to discipline your child when they do something wrong, which is horrible at the start, because a lot of the time what they're doing wrong is just hilarious and it's funny. At the minute, our little boy Luca he's nearly 2. He's 2 in August, and he's just a ball of energy. He is absolutely brilliant. He's hilarious. And the other day, my wife opened the front door to leave and he darted. Now, we are trying to teach him that he doesn't go in the road. Now, the easiest way to teach someone to learn that going in the road is bad is to let them get hit by a car. Now, we're not going to do that. How do you teach a child that you shouldn't play in the road without letting him get hit by a car? It's kind of difficult. And the other day, opened the door, he darted up the street, not in the road I might add, and my wife just had to run after him. Now, Leanne is quite heavily pregnant at this stage. We're having another baby in September, and she had to run after him, and it was really funny. Not for her, I thought it was funny, she didn't. And one of the things you have to do is discipline your children. Now, by disciplining them, you're teaching them. By teaching them, you're protecting them. If he were to run into the road, I'd have to discipline him to protect him. All those things are interlinked and they go back to one another. Now, if we apply that to our lives, the Bible says, guard your heart. I believe that's in Hebrews. I should have pulled it up. It says, guard your heart, because out of that is the spring of life. Guard your heart. Protect your heart at all costs. Whether it's getting into a relationship that you think might not be right. If that was a child, you'd say, look, stay away. It's not good for you. Do that for yourself. Guard your heart. When you are teaching a child, you're developing them. You see them learn all the time. Teach yourself. Read your Bible. Read books. Get around people that can teach you. Develop yourself with a bit of gusto, as a parent would do for their child. And thirdly, discipline. A bit of self-discipline. Now, with kids, you're talking about discipline as a consequence. They've done something, you have to discipline them. When we're adults, the discipline comes first. We know what's right and wrong, and we have discipline not to do something. Practice that discipline. Be disciplined with your actions. Be disciplined with what you do. Be disciplined with your words. That's something for me that is a key one. I like to make jokes, and I like to try and make people laugh. And sometimes I've got to be careful with my words and how I do that. A little bit of self-discipline, but also if you have done wrong, to tell people, share with people that I've messed up. You haven't maybe not got to go into details, but you can learn from other people, share what it is that you're struggling with, and you can learn discipline, protection, teaching, all things that we give our children 100%. And if we did that with ourselves, I believe we would see growth.
The highest king will welcome me. I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. Oh, his love for me. Who the Son